Hello everybody, Doug Walker here. It's a little rainy outside, but Chicago's very slowly turning into Seattle recently, so I'm just going to film anyway. This video is mainly going to talk about the top 11 nostalgia critic reviews that I will not do, because I get a lot of requests, a lot of people ask me to review a lot of stuff, and for the reasons I'm going to explain right now, I don't want to do them. I don't think they're worth doing. So, start taking a page from the Book of Linkara here. I'm going to count down the top 11 reviews that I, as the nostalgia critic, will not do. I decided not to do this as a nostalgia critic video because, I don't know, there's better reviews that I think I can do. So I'm just sort of doing it as myself and just sort of telling you which ones I don't think are really worth doing. So why waste any time? Let's get started. Number 11. Watership Down. Now this is one of those, I don't really get why people want me to review it. I saw it when I was younger, and I thought it was good. I thought actually for a book this grim and this dark, I thought the movie actually captured it relatively well. The animation is good. I love the voice acting. John Hurt's in it. Anything he touches I think is gold. So I don't know why so many people want me to review it. Is it because it's really dark? Is it because, it's marketed as a kid's film and yet rabbits are getting drowned in dirt and blood everywhere and stuff like that? I mean, I guess maybe that could be a little funny. Okay, it doesn't sound funny, but, maybe the idea that this is supposed to be this very fluffy, innocent film, and there's two cute little rabbits on the front, and the fact that there's just constant death and constant killing all throughout. So, I don't know. I don't think it's enough to hold up for a review, though, and like I said, I think it's good. I think it's a decent movie, so I don't know exactly why so many people want me to review it, but it is one of those requests I keep getting over and over and over, so I'm definitely not doing that one. I like the movie. Next one. Number 10. A Goofy movie. Now, I think I know why some people want me to do this. It's probably because whenever Disney tries to do something really hip and really with it, it usually backfires unbelievably. And this one does a little bit, but I don't think actually it's that bad. Actually, it came out a little past my time. I think I was just sort of starting high school around this point, so I wasn't really seeing, animated Disney films. But I saw years later, I saw when I was looking after somebody's kid, and it's okay, it's decent, it could have been a lot worse. And something actually I do like about the film is that it's neat to see Disney do. So it was sort of like the same thing with Lilo and Stitch. It's neat to see Disney Animation do current things. Like, I think it's the first time I've seen a hot tub in a Disney film. And it looks really odd. I mean, it's neat, but it's like, or an RV, and things like that. So it's sort of neat for just that reason. But on top of that, I think the stuff it talks about is actually sort of legit. About a father trying to stay in his son's life, but the son wanting to grow up and trying to let the son go, but still have some connection. I think that's all there, and I think they address it for the most part pretty well. I think it actually has some very funny moments. The songs I don't really remember except for that first one, except for that After Today song, which is ungodly catchy and will never leave your head. But for the most part, I thought it was okay. I don't think there's enough for a review. I think there's only like a few jokes. Most of it's centering around that, I don't know what it is, sort of that MC Hammer, Prince, Vanilla Ice, Rockstar, whatever that guy was. So I could probably make some jokes about that, but that's about it. I don't think it's that bad a movie. So I don't know. Not doing that one. Number 9. The Spider-Man cartoon. Now, I'll admit, I hate this cartoon. This is one of those cartoons that came out at the same time as X-Men and Batman, and then this piece of comes along, and it's trying to do what they're doing, but it's doing it so horribly. It feels like one of the cartoons from like the 60s where there's no pacing, there's no good timing, the dialogue is really lame, and it just tries to throw a ton at you without letting any of it really sink in. Now, with that said, I know a lot of people like the show. Great, maybe you got into it, maybe you did get sucked into the story. I couldn't. I thought it was really lame. The animation I didn't think was especially good either. So there is a lot to talk about. The downside is, and this is something which just shows in general, whenever I'm gonna do... It's really coming out. Holy it's hail! There's hail! This is nuts. Like, it's been nothing but rain this whole summer. And now we got hail. Hail in summer. And tornadoes have been coming down and like that. It's end times, man. It's end times. It is crazy, but I digress. Hey, I'll still do the review. What was I talking about? Spider-Man, okay. Can't believe we're getting hail. Anywho. Spider-Man. The cartoon itself, I never read the comics much. My brother was much more into the Spider-Man comics, so I was hoping I was actually going to sort of get into Spider-Man, like the comics, the same way that I got into, like, the X-Men comics, because I got into the X-Men comics through the cartoon. And I was hoping Spider-Man would do the same, but it was just so lame to me, and they were throwing so much at you that I didn't care for it. So, but anyway, why aren't I doing it? Because it sounds like it's a prime suspect to do. Because whenever I do a show, it has to be something that I grew up with and that I watched. I really didn't watch that show. And to appropriately talk about it, you have to watch the show and you have to really know what goes on, what the repeating problems are and stuff like that. With a movie, even if you haven't seen it, you can watch it and, you know, to say what's wrong with it. With a show, you really have to watch it. Like Captain Planet, despite the fact that it was a bad show, I did watch. I don't know why. There's nothing else on that time slot. Same thing with Full House. I don't know why. I watched the show. Something was like cocaine for the eyes or something. I have no idea what kept bringing us back, but don't act like you didn't watch it either. So, Spider-Man I didn't watch, so I would not be able to appropriately talk about what's wrong with it, or even what's good about it. I wouldn't be able to address it fairly. And I feel that it's not giving you a fair review of the show. So that's the main reason I don't talk about it. Hail stopped. Next one. Number 8. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes / Killer Clowns from Outer Space. The second one particularly, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, I get a lot. It's meant to be bad, guys. It's like reviewing Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness. There's no point. It makes fun of itself already. It's supposed to be silly. The same thing with Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. By God, how many fourth wall jokes do they break in that movie? You know, they're sort of classic B movies that are meant to be silly. They already are mocking themselves. I don't even know what else to really say about it. I like both movies, actually. I think they're both pretty funny. Killer Clowns I haven't seen in a long time. I think I saw it when I was a little kid. Even as a little kid, I knew this is meant to be stupid. This is meant to be dumb. I think at the very end when, like, the two guys survive in the ice cream truck and they're just like, oh yeah, the ice cream protected us. It's awesome. And they... I mean, come on. That's pretty stupid. That's meant to be stupid. So, very basic. If you haven't seen these movies, they're both pretty entertaining. Check them out. They're both funny. Yeah, so that's why I'm not doing that one. Number 7. Toys. Now this is one of those movies, I saw it as a kid, I saw it as an adult, I have no idea what to make of this movie. I have no idea if it's really good or really awful or what. I know it's a movie the director really wanted to do for a long time, and, you know, it's talked about for eons and eons. I really wanted to do it, and it finally got made, and just nobody knew what to make of it. I don't know what to make of it. I guess I would have liked a more interesting story. I didn't feel the story was that interesting. If you're going to do something this strange and this bizarre, go for something really abstract, or go for just a totally bad, crazy story. Or go for something that really does have a very complicated, interesting plot. Don't try to meet halfway. I think that's what the movie tried to do. But because of that, you get something that's visually interesting. It looks awesome, you know, and it's got some nice music, I recall. But outside of that, I don't know if there's much to make fun of. It's just kind of weird. And even then, it's not like an extreme weird where you're just constantly going, what the this is nuts. It sort of creates that world where this stuff can happen, and you sort of go with it, you know, okay, but there's no point where you just point at the screen and say, no, this does not happen, this is wrong, this is an insult, this is terrible. At least I don't, when I saw it. So, it just sort of, all I really remember about, I just remember the visuals, I remember Joan Cusack, I remember them trying to get army toys in. I don't remember much else, and every time I see it, I remember what it looks like, and I don't remember it leaving a really bad impact on me. I don't recall it having, a ton of jokes I can make fun of, so that's definitely one I'm not going to do. Number 6. The Nutcracker starring the Care Bears. Okay, after I did the third Care Bears movie, everybody's sending me emails, there's one more movie, there's one more movie! Here's why I'm not doing it. I'm only doing the theatrical films, okay? I'm doing the ones that, kids went to, they sat down, they saw it in the movie theaters, you had to pay money to go see it. That's where you suffer, because you had to pay money, go in the theater, and you got ripped off. So, the Nutcracker one, I just remember when it came out. I remember it came out like on the Disney Channel, and they showed it. It's stupid, it's dumb, I remember it being dumb, even as a little kid. I think I was getting the Ninja Turtles by that point. I always thought, God, this movie needs Ninja Turtles. Just Ninja Turtles come in and, beat the shit out of the Care Bears and stuff. I just remember that. So, I'm not going to review this one. I try to stay away from movies that sort of go directly to video. I try to do ones that more people have seen, or grew up with. And I know videos and DVDs now, the straight-to-video DVD stuff is becoming more and more popular now. But back then, I don't think it was. And I like to attack the stuff that we grew up with so we can compare what we thought back then to how it holds up now. So, yeah, I'm not gonna look at that. I don't want to look at it anyway. I'm done with Care Bears, man. Pickled beets, no more. I'm done with it. Number 5. Cats Don't Dance. Now, a lot of people say this is a really bad movie and that sucks. Some people actually enjoy it okay. For me, I actually don't think it's that bad a movie, except for one major thing. It is major. That's the main character. The main character is so bland and so forgettable that it really brings the whole thing down. All the other characters are fine. They're a lot of fun and they're really creative, and the animation's great. I really love the timing on this animation. I love the speed of this animation. I love this villain, this sort of Shirley Temple-ish villain that looks all nice and cute, but then when the cameras are off, she turns into this really mean, power-hungry monster. That's funny. I mean, that's really, really funny. I like this weird bodyguard that she has that seems larger than life. and just the way he enters and leaves, he leaves through the wall and comes through the wall. A lot of that stuff I think is very entertaining. It's just the main character, and he is awful. It's a terrible main character. I mean, it's not like a bad role model or anything like that, but he's just so bland, so forgettable. And I understand that. I totally get that. I don't think that's enough to hold up for a review. I think there's enough things in there that makes it fun and makes it entertaining. And some things are over the top, but that, again, that's part of the fun. I don't think it's actually that bad. I'm actually glad I saw it. I thought it was actually relatively entertaining. But, yeah, I agree. Main character is bad, and he's not fun. But I think it's okay. I think it's an okay movie, actually. So a lot of people keep telling me to review it. I'm not going to do it because that one character, I don't think that's enough. And I don't actually think he's the world's worst character either. You can get much more material out of a character who's like a bad role model. Like the character from Airborne who was talking about, being a pacifist all the time, but he still talks tough. He still sort of eggs people on. And of course, he pantses a person at the very end. It's like, oh yeah, that was a real pacifist there. So that kind of stuff I can make fun of much more. If it's just bland, it's just bland. I mean, there's not much you can do with it. So, not doing that film. Number 4. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. Shortest explanation in the world. James Rolfe did it. He did it great. He addressed every single solitary little thing wrong with it. There's nothing new I can bring. Next one. Number 3. The Brave Little Toaster. Again, what? I like this movie. I mean, it's not masterpiece or anything like that, but just for what it is, I mean, I don't know, it's a weird story. A toaster and a bunch of other appliances, they've been in a house too long and they miss their human companion, so they go out to try and find him. Okay, weird, but for such a weird setup, it's done pretty well. I actually like the fact that there's a lot of scenes that don't have music in it. I like there's a lot of quiet scenes in it. There's a lot of atmosphere to it. And I really appreciate it for that. I love that song at the end. What was it? I think it's called Worthless or something, where they take the cars and they smash them down to the cubes and the, whatever. I was in the Indy 500. It's like, I love that song. That's a great song. And the other characters, I mean, well, nothing phenomenal. I remember them. I remember the vacuum. I remember the lamp. I remember the electric blanket. I remember John Lovitz as the radio. And I saw this a while ago. I mean, I saw this when I was just a little kid, and I still remember it. I think once in a while, growing up, I saw it on TV, very briefly, and I just watched a bit of it. It held up okay. I mean, it held up fine. I mean, maybe there's some problems. I don't know. I mean, it is a weird setup for a story, but I thought it was fine. Now, something that a lot of people keep telling me to do, maybe I'll do, I don't know, is I guess there's sequels to The Brave Little Toaster. And the only title I remember is The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars. Okay, what the That's a weird setup. That title alone doesn't sound real. That sounds like a Simpsons made-up title, we have to defeat, the sequels this year. We're being beaten out by The Brave Little Toaster Goes to Mars. I mean, it's like, okay, that I might do, because that sounds really stupid. But in terms of the original, I think the original's fine. I don't have any problem with it. I don't know, just a story about a toaster. Let it be a toaster. Number 2. Anything Sonic related. Okay, I did 2 shows, people. 2 shows! What more do you want from me? I can't do any more Sonic. And one of them was good. I liked one of them. The other was really friggin' insane. And like I said, you got a lot of material from it. But the main reason I don't do Sonic is that I don't think there was... both those shows were nostalgic. I grew up with both those shows, and I watched them both, so I can talk about it. With anything else, it's all too current, and again, it has to be a show that I grew up with and have some idea about, so I can properly represent it. I didn't grow up with all these other Sonic shows. As much as people say they're terrible and say they're god-awful, I believe you. I'm sure they're really horrid, but I didn't grow up with them. I didn't watch them. I guess there's a ton of other Sonic movies and stuff like that. Sonic must have, like, this really... hardcore determined fan base, because just constantly I get people asked to review it. I guess Lewis gets, people asking to review Sonic comics all the time, and just everything Sonic. I remember, like, the video game confession, I think the one that gets the most views, again, is the Sonic one. So, I mean, I could do it and whatever, get the views going through the roof, but I don't think I'd be able to properly talk about it. I was a Mario kid growing up too. I mean, that's one of the reasons I can't talk about the Sonic games that much, because I didn't grow up with the Sonic games. I played once in a while, but I was a Nintendo kid. I always played the Nintendo. So yeah, I think the major thing is that they're way too current. I didn't grow up with these shows, and with the movies, I'm sure they're bad, but I feel like I've done Sonic already. I don't think there's much else to talk about. It's sort of like me going and doing another Mario show. That's another thing I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do the other Mario shows while we're on the subject. I'm not going to do Super Mario Bros. 3. I'm not going to do Super Mario World. It's just the Super Show again. There's your review. Hey, did you like the Super Mario Bros. Super Show? Here it is again. Put a 3 on it, now put World on it. There, exact same show, just sort of a different setting, a few more characters. So... that's it. I'm not covering any of those. And the number 1 thing I will never do a Nostalgia Critic review on is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. And I know there's a ton of things to make fun of. I know there's a ton of things I can point out and say is wrong and stuff like that. Here's the thing. Everybody's done it. Everybody has pointed out every single solitary little thing wrong with that movie. The most I can do is just draw comparisons to other films and say, this is like The Phantom Menace. Because everybody's talked about it. Red Letter Media? Good God! I mean, I think their review is longer than the movie. It's like 8 hours. I mean, I can't say anything about it. Everybody's already said it. It's sort of like the same reason why I won't do the Ninja Turtles 3 review, because James Rolfe already said everything that needs to be said about it. I mean, just in great detail. I can't add anything to it. Unless I feel there's something that I can bring to it that nobody else has brought, and I can do sort of this different spin, it's not worth doing. That's one of the reasons why, before I review something, you know, like maybe one of our reviewers did, I watch it and I do check it out to see if there's anything else I can bring. If it turns out they've already done it perfect and there's nothing else I can talk about, I'm not going to talk about it because somebody already did it fine or probably better than I did. And it's the same thing with Phantom Menace. Everybody's talked about it, everybody's reviewed it, everybody knows what's wrong with it. Everybody's made the jokes. They make much better jokes than I can about it. So I'm never gonna do Star Wars Episode 1. Same thing with Episode 2 and Episode 3. Just everybody's already riffed it to death. I mean, I don't think I can bring that much. If I really felt I could bring something to it, I would. But it's been done and everybody's done it. So yeah, definitely, you know, no more asking about that. No more asking about Star Wars Episode 1. I'm never going to do it. So, there it is, guys. Those are the top 11 Nostalgia Critic episodes I will never do. I will never review. I have no interest in doing them at all. So stop asking! Now, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to get all sorts of new other reviews to constantly ask to do. Well, okay, and then I'll make another top 11 list. So, there it is, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and that's it. Take care.